Hello again, everybody. I'm Scott Casper, and it's time to take a look at the week's news and features from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. Well, the Winter Sports Olympics underway in Sochi, Russia. Although wrestling is contested during the Summer Games, it is an important part of the Olympic movement that dates all the way back to the ancient Olympics in Greece. USA Wrestling's national headquarters is located in Colorado Springs, which is also the home to the U.S. Olympic Committee and several other sports. To honor the opening ceremonies of the Winter Games, a special celebration was held downtown Colorado Springs. It was Tejon Street closing for the festival that was held. The celebration included live music, ice sculptures, and vintage snowmobiles that were on display. Rock climbers scaled a huge construction and even exhibited a dog sledding team which ran through Acacia Park. Many Olympic sports, including USA Wrestling, set up booths where fans could meet with Olympic athletes, and a large television screen was provided for fans to watch the live coverage of the games on NBC. Colorado Springs held its own torch lighting ceremony, and wrestlers played a prominent role in the event. El Paso World Greco-Roman champion Joe Warren handed the torch to USOC employee and Olympic track and field champ Benita Fitzgerald Mosley, and gave that torch to another wrestling star, 2008 Olympic bronze medalist Randy Miller. It was Miller who lit the cauldron to the applause of the spectators there watching live on the nightly news. Randy talked about the honor lighting the torch in the Olympic City.
It's quite the honor. I watched the Olympic Games since I was a child. I had the opportunity to be a part of it as an adult, and it's an extreme honor to come out here and be a part of the Winter Games as well.
All right, thanks, Randy. Jeff Mosher of the Colorado Springs Sports Corporation, one of the key organizers of the event, has both competed in and coached the sport of wrestling. He talked about why Randy Miller was selected to light the torch in the city's celebration.
I mentioned at the meeting who we should get for cauldron lighters, and it was unanimous. The mayor's office, the city, all said USA Wrestling. USA Wrestling just got back into the Olympics, and so we wanted to recognize wrestling as a sport and our athletes here in town that train.
While you're watching the Winter Olympic Games, there's one U.S. Olympian we'd love to have you cheer for just a little bit louder. Nick Baumgartner. He's a member of the U.S. Olympic snowboard cross team who had an impressive career in wrestling. Now, you may have seen Matt Crumry's article on themat.com about Nick. In high school, he was a state champ from Michigan's Upper Peninsula. He also shares a last name with one of the greatest Olympic wrestlers of all time. Who is it? Well, two-time Olympic champ and four-time medalist Bruce Baumgartner. They're not related. Although no longer wrestling, Nick takes great pride in his career and credits wrestling for giving him the mental toughness to excel in snowboarding. He's now competing on his second U.S. Olympic team, and he'll be back in action February 17th in Sochi, and the U.S. wrestling community is encouraged to tune in and watch Nick continue to pursue his Olympic dreams. Well, speaking of Olympic sports action, USA Wrestling is proud to host this year's Freestyle World Cup March 15th through the 16th at the historic Forum in Los Angeles. Now, tickets are available to the public and fans, and you folks are encouraged to purchase them now to guarantee the best seats available. Discounted all-session tickets for the two-day event will be available for a limited time and at 3 different price levels. The GA tickets, affordable for sure, $50 each. Preferred seating, $130, and VIP, $270. Man, what a face value that is, but imagine what it's going to get you. You can order your tickets via Ticketmaster through Ticketmaster.com, thefabulousforum.com, and the Forum box office as well. The phone number for Ticketmaster, 800-745-3000. Well, it was just last week that USA Wrestling unveiled the logo for the World Cup competition and also launched a national marketing campaign, Guts and Glory. The artwork shows Olympic gold medalist Jordan Burroughs of the U.S. and 2012 Olympic silver medalist Sadegh Goudzari of Iran in action. Now, mark your calendar for March 15th through the 16th. Join me, won't you, in Los Angeles, California at the now famous Forum. We'll have more wrestling news when we return. Stay tuned.
ASICS has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because you know, I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is and wants to be as well.
Hi, I'm Wayne Boyd, Director of Operations and Development for Titan Mercury Wrestling Club. The club was founded to help wrestling worldwide, especially at our senior level, of course at the collegiate level and the high school level. But the most important level for Titan Mercury Wrestling Club is the kids level. And these are some of the guys today that will be tomorrow's Olympic champions. Let's hear it, guys.
Titan Mercury!
That's Titan Mercury Wrestling Club, San Marino, California.
Well, the international winter tournament season continued this last weekend with the Grand Prix of Paris in France. U.S. men's and women's freestylers were entered into the tournament, including several of the top nations and athletes from around the world. The top U.S. performance came in men's freestyle as former Missouri star Nick Maribel claimed the gold at 163. He took an impressive 4-0 run for the day, opening with wins over athletes from Belgium, Poland, and Georgia. In the finals, he defeated 2010 Asian bronze medalist Ernbat Puryajev of Mongolia. Now the score there was 6-2. What a battle. Over the two-day event, the U.S. came home with a total of 14 medals, 9 for the men's freestyle team, including silver from former Boise State star Jason Chamberlain at 143, 2013 senior world team member Keith Gavin at 189, and University world bronze medalist Terrell Fortune at 275. Men's freestyle bronze winners include former Boise State star Andrew Hochstrasser at 125, two-time senior world team member Reese Humphrey at 143 pounds, and former Iowa star Phil Ketty at 189, veteran star Wynn Mahalik at 213 pounds, and past junior world champ Don Bradley at 275. Now, the U.S. women also came home with individual medals, including performances from Catherine Fulp-Allen. She won silver at 116. It was the second straight event that Fulp-Allen reached the finals, including the most recent Dave Schultz Memorial. 2012 Olympian Kelsey Campbell took the silver at 127. It was her first international medal of the year after taking the 2013 season off. Bronze medals came from 2008 world champ and 2012 Olympic bronze medalist Clarissa Chun. She returned after more than a year off the mat to claim that bronze. Her only loss came in the first match against Olympic silver medalist and longtime rival Maria Stadnik of Azerbaijan. Chun rebounded with 2 tech falls for her medal. King University's college national champ Julia Salata took home the bronze at 152, along with OTC star Kenan Henderson at 132. It'll be another busy week for American wrestlers in all 3 styles. Major competitions taking place in both Cuba and Turkey. Now, fans are looking forward to Yasir Dögü International in Istanbul, Turkey. That's where Team USA will feature a pair of Olympic champs in freestyle, bringing his 67-match win streak to that country. 2012 Olympic champ and 2-time world champ Jordan Burroughs at 163. Competing in his very first event of the year, 2012 Olympic champ Jake Varner returns to competition at 213 pounds. Olympian Sam Hazewinkel, along with 2013 world team member Angel Escobedo, will return to action at 125. Now, down in Cuba, competition will take place at the Cerro Pelado International in men's and women's freestyle and the Granma Cup in Greco-Roman. The men's freestyle stars there in Cuba include bronze medalist Coleman Scott at 134 and 4-time NCAA champ Kyle Dake at 163 pounds. In women's freestyle, world champ and 3-time world medalist Elena Paraskova will compete at 138. World silver medalist Helen Maroulis will go at 121. Greco stars competing for the U.S. include Robbie Smith, who was 5th in the world at heavyweight last year, and 2-time world team member Andy Bisick at 165 pounds. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Well, the college wrestling season continues to heat up as it heads to its natural conclusion, that being March in Oklahoma City. Well, the biggest duel this last week, the Big Ten showdown between Penn State and Minnesota. It was number 1 versus number 2. The competition on the Gophers' home mats in Minneapolis. Well, the duel started with a major decision from NCAA runner-up Nico Megaludis of Penn State at 125, but it was followed by a decision at 133 from Minnesota's David Thorne. At 141, the undefeated freshman Zane Rutherford of the Nittany Lions stopped top star Chris Dardanes at 141. One of the most important bouts came at 149. Past NCAA runner-up Dylan Ness of the Gophers pinned Lions star Dylan Alton, gaining important bonus points for his team. Ness was named the Mat.com Wrestler of the Week for his performance. Undefeated David Taylor of Penn State tacked on a major decision at 165, but Minnesota got another big win at 74. That's where Logan Storley stopped NCAA runner-up Matt Brown 8-3. Penn State rallied for big wins in the next 2 bouts. Two-time NCAA champ Ed Ruth at 84 and Morgan McIntosh at 197. Well, it all came down to heavyweight, and two-time NCAA champ Tony Nelson of Minnesota, well, he stood up and delivered. He delivered big. He defeated John Gingrich 6-0, giving Minnesota an incredible 18-17 victory. The new NCAA rankings came out just a day ago, and the team switched positions. It's now Minnesota on top and Penn State down a spot at 2. Could the action get any more severe? Well, let's head over to Cedar Falls, Iowa. 5th-ranked Northern Iowa hosted in-state rival Iowa State, ranked 17th, by the way, coming into the meet. It was an opportunity for Coach Doug Schwab and the Panthers to prove that the program has taken a major step forward, and indeed they have. Northern Iowa came up big in the lower weights. 6th-ranked Dylan Peters scored a major over Earl Hall at 125, followed by a tech fall at 33 from top-ranked Joe Colon. Joey Laser kept the run going with a pin over Gabe Moreno at 141, and they made it 4 in a row at 49 when Tyler Patton edged out Luke Gettle 8-6. When it was all over, UNI prevailed 24-13 for their very first win over Iowa State in 10 years. Coach Doug Schwab talked about the victory.
Our seniors wanted to go out beating them. Obviously, personally, I wanted to go get a win against them. But just to continue building our program and really, continue to make a statement. We're one of the 3 teams that are left undefeated dual-wise, and that's a big thing. That's a big thing for us.
Well, the wrestlers of UNI were excited to talk about picking up a win in front of a sold-out crowd at West Gym.
The whole big brother, little brother thing, I think Iowa State knows now that we're not going to take a backseat to them ever again. I love when we do. We announce our names, and then we run out, and everyone's just going crazy. Like, that's what gets me just motivated and ready to wrestle. It's like time to strap on the shoes and just go.
This year we were ready to go, and we had momentum going, and the train's rolling. That's what we keep saying. The train's on its tracks, and we're rolling.
I had a really rough streak. I knew I had something to prove here tonight, and I just fed off of these guys. I couldn't pick a better spot to start, being behind these guys, and just had the energy rolling, and perfect.
Iowa State's head coach Kevin Jackson talked with the media after the duel.
You can't blow a 6-point lead and win dual meets. It just can't happen. I looked at that match coming all the way down the wire to the wire, and if we don't give up that 6-point lead, it would have came down to 184, which they won anyway.
Well, another huge rivalry duel was held in Stillwater, Oklahoma, the second Bedlam duel between 8th-ranked Oklahoma State and now number 10 Oklahoma. It was the first Bedlam match earlier in the season. If you recall, the Sooners beat the Cowboys in Norman. This time, however, Oklahoma State turned everything around. With 4 Sooners out of the lineup, the Cowboys got off to a strong start and never looked back. Eddie Clamara scored a pin over an OU backup at 125, and 4th-ranked John Morrison stopped number 7 Cody Brewer at 133. In another match featuring nationally ranked stars, it was Cowboy Anthony Kalika who beat Nick Lester 4-0 at 141. NCAA champ Kendrick Maple gave OU a win at 149, but the Cowboys came back with 3 more as second-ranked Alex Derringer scored a tech fall at 57. Tyler Caldwell added a decision at 165. And NCAA champ Chris Perry put away a backup at 74 with a pin to clinch the Cowboys' win. OU star Andrew Howe jumped up in weight for a win at 84, and Sooner Travis Rutt came through with a decision at 97. Closing out the meet with a Cowboy win, nationally ranked Austin Marsden at heavyweight. The final score, get this, 29-9 in favor of Oklahoma State. Well, the showdowns from this past week also included several individual bouts from All-American candidates competing for pride and high seeds at the coming tournaments. We saw one such showdown at the Air Force Wyoming dual meet in Colorado. At 125, it was 4th-ranked Josh Martinez of Air Force as he battled past All-American Tyler Cox of Wyoming. Cox jumped to a 1-0 lead and had more than a minute of riding time when Martinez pulled off a slick reversal. Martinez ruled out Cox to eliminate the riding time advantage and claimed a 2-1 clutch win against his Western Conference rival. What a great time to be a college wrestling fan. More USA Wrestling Weekly when we return.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Well, for the second straight year, the Pikes Peak Wrestling League in Colorado Springs has held special competition for youth wrestlers called the Mayhem in the Mountains. Working the event as refs and tournament officials were members of the U.S. Olympic Training Center teams from all styles. A portion of the proceeds from this large youth event go to the resident athlete program at the OTC, allowing top athletes to compete overseas. Among those on the whistle were OTC Greco-Roman resident athlete Nico Trigus, OTC women's resident athlete Trinity Griffin, and freestyle developmental resident athletes Garrett Ryan, junior world freestyle champ Kyle Snyder. Several Olympic hopefuls refereed the event, including 2 past NCAA champs. John Reeder, who won his NCAA title at Iowa State, he recently joined the OTC program and was excited to help the young stars.
This is where it starts, the little kids feeder program like this, and it's fun to be in this environment and to give back, and we're helping each other today. And I'm new to the Colorado surrounding area, and it's just fun to see the energy in this room. And there's a lot of kids getting after it today, so it's been fun.
Well, Dustin Kilgore, who won his NCAA title for Kent State, is now pursuing his Olympic dream in the Springs. He was on the mats working with the kids as well.
It's a pretty exciting day, get to see some young guys scrap. We don't usually get to see that because we're in the room most of the time and training ourselves, but It's nice to help out the little ones and get in there, do some reffing. It's actually pretty exciting. You see a lot of upsets.
Assistant National Freestyle coach Brandon Slay was a 2000 Olympic gold medalist. He signed autographs and worked the mats as a ref and provided support for the event.
It's a fundraiser for our team, OTC, for our resident athletes. And so it's a win-win situation because all our athletes get to come in here, ref all the mats, serve the kids, answer their questions from the kids and the parents and the coaches. So kind of be a resource to them. But on the other hand, the money that's raised from this tournament, we use that money directly to help support our athletes to go overseas.
Past world champ and USA Wrestling's freestyle national developmental coach Bill Zadek was on hand as well.
We are able to give back to the community, and we're doing some good things that way, and we create more opportunity for our young elite athletes to get out in the world and get those experiences. It's going to, make the difference for them long term in their career.
Well, this is year 2 of the event, and based upon the success, surely mayhem in the mountains will be something everybody will shoot for. Well, the FILA rankings were released this week based upon the 8 new weight classes throughout the world. As one of the top nations in the world, Team USA was well represented. 13 athletes were honored, returning as the #1 ranked wrestler at 163, Olympic and world champ Jordan Burroughs. He's dominated international freestyle now for 3 straight years. The next highest rated athlete from America, Olympian and world medalist Travelda Legnev at 275. He sits 5th in the standings. A rising young star is Frank Molinaro, ranked 6th at 143. 2013 World Team member Angel Escobedo came in at 8th at 125. And 2 Americans are ranked 13th. It's Reese Humphrey at 134 and Terrell Fortune at 275. 2-time World Teamer Brent Metcalf is at number 17 at 143. And young star BJ Futrell sits at number 19 at 134. 5 Americans pulled number 20 rankings, including Zach Sanders at 125, Olympic medalist Coleman Scott at 134, Kevin LaValle at 154, Mo Zafeh at 163, and John Reeder at 189. Tune in next week for the most updated rankings on women's freestyle. Well, last episode we brought you some interviews from the top wrestling leaders attending the Dave Schultz Memorial at the OTC. Well, this week we've got a few more. Dr. Dave Kirby is one of the busiest men in the sport. He's the new executive director of the Beat the Streets program in Chicago. He also runs the annual Jacob Kirby Cup in Greco-Roman, honoring his late son Jake, and is very active with FILA Scientific Council as well. We talked to Dr. Kirby about his involvement in the sport.
It's 24/7 wrestling, whether it's the science or the promotion of wrestling. And it's, you know, with this turmoil that we went through this past year, it's a very exciting time. But we can't sit back and rest on our laurels. We've got to work hard.
Well, the U.S. Marine Corps has a new head coach. Ironically, he competed for the arch rivals at the U.S. Army. Former UNC Greensboro wrestling coach Jason Lukitas has been brought on board with the Marines and has high goals for his athletes and team.
Everybody who's in the military, that's their first obligation. Anybody who's coaching them or around it understands that they're Marines first or soldiers first in the Army. And so, I mean, that's our ultimate mission. And, you know, wrestling is something that they get to, they have the skill to, you know, to do it, and they get the opportunity provided to them by the Marine Corps.
The U.S. Olympic program at Northern Michigan is coached by talented Greco-Roman leader Rob Herman.
Well, I think everything's going good. We got some USA guys in the finals, and we're beating some foreigners, which is always good, and it's always a win on your own soil. And we had a good 2-week training camp at the January training camp, and then Steve took some guys over to Russia, and they seem like they're performing really well too.
Kevin Black coaches several women's stars for the Sunkissed Kids and is a leader in age group women's wrestling.
Historically and traditionally, we have to travel overseas to get 5 or 6 matches with foreign athletes, and now we have them here for this tournament. It's awesome for USA Wrestling, and then to have it be bigger than the guys tournament, I think is a little feather in the cap for Coach Steiner, who's really worked so hard to build a program. And yeah, it's a great tournament.
Well, USA Wrestling's popular Folkstyle Tour of America continued this last weekend. The Georgia Grind took place in Atlanta, Georgia. Top athletes from the Southeast and from across the nation came together to test themselves in folk style and score points in USA Wrestling's future Olympian rankings. Well, the next Folkstyle Tour of America event is Dominate in the Dells, set for the Dells in Wisconsin, March 22nd and 23rd. Now, all these events lead into the biggest folkstyle event of the year, the 2014 USA Wrestling Folkstyle National Championships in Cedar Falls, Iowa, April 4th through the 6th. For more information, visit usawrestlingevents.com. Well, it's time for USA Wrestling's Photo of the Week contest. The pictures are sent in by wrestling families and fans from around the country and are being considered for our contests in USA Wrestler magazine and our Facebook page. This week's photo sent in by Jeremy Hernandez, showing Keon Hernandez of Billings, Montana, controlling an opponent in last summer's Grand Nationals. Have your photographs considered for USA Wrestling's photo contest simply by emailing them to the very hardworking Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Folks, that'll do it for this week's show. We're running a little bit late. From all of us here at USA Wrestling, I'm Scott Casper, and thanks for watching.